Hello, my dear folks, my dear lovely audiences. Welcome to the East-West Show. My name is Jack Chow, your lovely host. I want to be more lovelier for you because I try even harder to bring all information to you. Speaking of information, the most important information would be something around us and yet is not confirmed to be on the table at this moment. It is the fear, like the title of the show says, the fear we're talking about. All right. Regardless of where they are heading, they are leading this country at this moment with this administration. We do feel about lots of fear. Some time ago, I tried several schools, and I tried with ELAC. I tried with such and such, including PCC, to bring some of the students, some of the kids here to talk about it, talk about how they feel about immigration, quote unquote, the status quo, and how about the ban, the presidential execution order, executive order, and so on and so forth, and about ICE, and about border control, and about search school by schools, house by house, which later on gonna turn to be a check on everybody. They say we'd love to. On learning that is a television show, though, they all back it up. They
Yes,
say
the fear.
I don't want to show the face.
They're afraid.
I said, well, we can put a mask on your face, right? So no, that's the voice. That's the voice, right? And then they say, no, the voice, well, can still tell. I said, I can do something to the audio. No, still the name. I said, we can fake the name till the very end. I saw with a fake face, with a fake voice, with a fake name, and then what we're talking about. And then the whole thing, the whole try, it's kind of like turned down. So today, get to the point, I really have to bring the crying baby to the mother. The mother being my dear, trustworthy friend for a long, long time, more than 20 years at least, Honorable Mike Yin, former assemblyman for California 49th District, current second president of the trustee board of LACCD. Welcome, sir, to the show.
Thank you, Jack. It is my honor. You are always the first person to ask the most important question. I don't have all the answers, but I think together we can find a solution and give hope at the end of the day.
I would say on my side, I appreciate the fact that you will find your time out of your busy schedule. I check with your office. I know how busy you are to come here to shed lights on this issue. And number two, I'd like to thank you very much for your unrelenting efforts on doing your job, Every morning on Monday by 9 o'clock, the first thing I read is your newsletter. These are them, or these are from them. I believe those are the copies of the newsletter.
Yes.
Very good. And he is on the job. The man, the kind of the quality in my guest, Honorable Mike Yin, is that when he does something, he does it to the details. He is on it 100%. For that, we give you a big hand, big applause, right? Well, end of the day, when you're talking about politics, you're already talking about representation. When you talk about representation, how much do you want to represent the fear, please?
Yes, we want to represent everyone. And we know that there are a lot of people that are very afraid. Let's break them up in the categories. You mentioned students that don't want to come and speak. There are a lot of international students from many countries, including China, that are very fearful right now that if they leave just before graduation, which is for us is coming up in a couple of weeks, or if they try to bring their family to witness their graduation, that those visas will be denied or they will be prevented from coming back to the United States. Our applications for international students is way down. Already, it is economically affecting us, academically affecting us, because people that would ordinarily have applied for this coming year
You're already taking
are
the
not
hit.
applying.
Yeah, all right.
They're not applying because the fear is that they come here and right away there's Christmas vacation, summer vacation, they go home, they can't come back.
All
Now,
right.
whether that fear is justified or not, it certainly has happened in the past.
Exactly.
When Trump had his first travel ban, many people, even with a green card, couldn't come back right away. They were stuck at the airport. So the fear is very real, and it's affecting us at the level of the international students alone. A second factor is financial aid. Students, in order to qualify for financial aid, fill out a federal form called FAFSA. As you know, a lot of our student aid comes from the federal government. So they must fill out a form to determine if they qualify. Our application from the neediest population, the community college students, low income, immigrant families, don't speak English at home, is down 40% this year. 40%.
I see.
And this is because the students may be legal. They may be born here or have DACA or something like that, but they're afraid they have to give information about their parents.
They don't want to expose themselves.
They don't expose their parents.
Yeah.
Their parents' income, where do your parents work?
Okay.
Let me have the tax returns, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it would just be as if you are a starving person, you want to eat food, you want to drink water, but because of the fear, you're willing to go hungry. And that's what's happening right now. 40% down.
Sir, exactly. I want to share something with you from the bottom of my heart. There is always a big talk about the Chinese two parties, the Mao Zedong party and the Chiang Kai-shek party. I'm no politician. I have no interest of the whole thing. But there's one thing during wartime, that's a slogan they put out that I adore so much. It says, nothing's gonna hurt education. So there's a war going on, there's conflicts, politics are going on, whatever. Under that circumstances, they agreed upon one thing, that nothing's gonna hurt education. I want to apply that philosophy or stand fast into this situation though. Our education is hurt, am I right?
Education is being affected, make no mistake about it. International students applying less. Students that are born here applying 40% less for financial aid. Teachers are very afraid if they get a knock on the door, immigration's coming in to look for a student. They get a subpoena. We want to know about all these students. What's their address? Where are they? Administrators, teachers, students, they're all, I wouldn't say, they're afraid because they don't know the answer, what to do. There's no reason to fear being in your home at night because you know what to do. If there's a problem, you call 911.
Yes.
The fear right now is that people don't know who to call. They don't know what to expect on three situations. Number one, what to do if immigration approaches you on campus. What to do, half our students or more work, full-time or part-time.
Do they need a search warrant? That's trespassing.
Yes, if someone knocks on the door at your home, at your place of work, at your place of school, the lawyers tell us that practice in this area that you do not have to open the door.
Of course.
Unless there is a piece of paper from a judge that describes the manner and condition of a search.
Okay.
Without that piece of paper, the lawyers say that you're under no obligation to open the door. But if you open the door, then you lose the right to not have them come in.
The problem is that people under such a fear, right? They might not even have the guts to insist on their power, on their right.
People do not know their rights.
Yeah.
What we're doing right now is we are going to every campus and bringing lawyers to tell our faculty, our students, our administrators what their rights are. This is America. We still have some rights.
Yes.
And those rights
Residuals
are no good if we don't know what they are. You have the right to remain silent.
All right.
You have the right not to show your documents. You have the right to not open the door.
Okay. Just to say simply, I'm not open the door for you. Please go away. Or come back with a search warrant.
That's correct.
Right?
That's correct.
My dear audience, my lovely audience, we really want to be helpful with the situation, especially with the kids, even with teachers or faculties who might not even know, even under the circumstances given now, we still have some residuals of rights. The right being, at least we shall have the right to hold on to our fort, saying that we're not open the door for you.
The right to privacy.
It is our privacy.
The right to not have unreasonable searches and seizures. They can come, for example, if they get a 911 call, they have the right to go in. If they hear someone screaming behind the door, they can go in. If they smell drugs, they can go in.
But nobody does that.
Absent that, they cannot just walk up to your house, your business, your school, and burst open and start questioning everybody.
What if they come into a classroom? Would the teacher say that's my territory? You're not supposed to be in unless I let you in?
The federal government has said that they would try, under most circumstances, to avoid churches and places of worship. They've said that. There are exceptions, and it's not a hard and fast rule, and there's no guarantee. But if a teacher receives, first of all, most agents will not walk into the classroom. Most likely they would ask for permission to enter. Most classroom doors are locked.
Okay.
And so a teacher, again, the same circumstance, has the right to say, no, let me call my principal. What we need to do is have a point of contact for everybody on campus.
Okay.
If you're a teacher, a student, a faculty member, custodian, parent, anyone on campus that has a problem should have a policy of one person to call, and that person will take care of looking at any subpoena.
And the principal will have a lawyer on his side.
The principals, we're advising all school districts, including our own, to create a list of protocols. In other words, what to do if you get a phone call.
Okay.
What to do if you get a letter.
Good.
What to do if someone knocks on the door. What to do if immigration shows up without an appointment.
I see.
What to do if A, B, C, D, E. If you have those rules in place, then we don't have to be fearful because we know what to do.
All right.
And that's the main thing.
Okay.
Be prepared.
All right, sure. Okay, let's take a very short moment now. When we come back, we'll find out where to get those, because that sounds very important.
Yes.
Because it is rather than anything else, because if you do have the fear, there's no point, doesn't make any sense. You fear more, try to find some tactics to fight over it, right? So, with me today, my dear friend, is my dear friend, a brother to the community, is a fighter ever since his assemblyman's day, all the way down here, when he takes the second president position of LACCD Trustee Board, Honorable Mike Yin. Let's take a short moment out. When we come back, we'll find out if there's no resolution, at least something to deal with. So stay with us, please. Hello, my dear folks, my dear lovely fellow Americans. Welcome back to the show. As an American, we feel that we are obligated to care for others. Only by then can you yourself be cared about. So there's a principle, I care about others, others care about me as a mutual thing. It's not like a first comer, first serve, so first come, you're late, you're okay, well, just stay out of the door. It's not that principle. I read this from a statement made by a young lady at the newsletter created by Honorable Mike Hin, and she says, I see something in the news that reminds me of mistake, da 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 da. I read about the mistake that I read about in history books. That means we're no longer what we were. Right? We're no longer what we look like, what we are principled to do now. Now, what the big difference is that we are here not to enjoy the freedom. Some kids here to kind of surrounded by the fear. That's why the title of this today's discussion is The Fear. With me is my good friend, the trustee board member of LACCD, second president, Honorable Mike Yim. He's shedding light now. He's doing the part, and under his management, there are lots of students of that age who are the targeted group of people. So, talking about ways to deal with situations when somebody tries, like the ICE agent. Oh, I like the word ICE. Yeah, ICE, right? Exactly like what you put into your soda, or you go with your scotch, right? It's very cold. It is cold enough to knock on your door and your classroom door or whatever for a search. So, talking about those ways to insist to your right, though, talking about protocols to handle a situation like that, where do people, especially the kids or even their parents, to find of those?
First of all, thank you for that question. The most important place that I'm dealing with right now is schools, because as you know, our students are the most vulnerable, the youngest. They're the ones that are most fearful. They can't think about something and be rational. They fear it. So what we're doing is we're asking every school district to meet, to ask the number one person, the administrator, whether it's a chancellor or principal, to meet with the elected officials. In our case, it's the Board of Trustees. It could be the school board members, and to request what we call a protocol or a set of guidelines. And the way that we've done it is we created a special committee, which I'm co-chairing with our chancellor. And we're meeting every 2 or 3 weeks to ask everybody, what are your questions? What are you fearing about?
I see.
See, the immigration is like an earthquake. We know the earthquake will come. The knock on the door could come. The flood could come. So what we do is, with earthquakes, people know what to do. They have an earthquake kit, they're prepared, they stand under the doorway. We need to have the same kind of preparation for the immigration service. Unfortunately, I hate to say this, but the fear of deportation and raids is like a natural disaster.
Yeah, at least find a place to hide.
That's correct. Well, you have to, first of all, prepare what to do, who to call. We all have a 911. At Cal State Los Angeles, where I teach, they're instructed to call one phone number, and that phone number goes directly to the police, or it goes to the security, and it goes directly to the president, and the president 24/7 goes directly to the lawyer for the Cal State LA, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, trying to deal with that.
Excuse me for one question, insert here. If I get a knock on the door of the ICE agent, right? I feel myself in danger. I'm a kid of 18 or even under 18. I call 911, the local police. would they come to confront the ICE agents
Okay, first of all,
for my protection?
First of all, we're talking about on
Or they are on the same boat?
We're talking about on campus. A student will probably not receive a knock on the door because students must be supervised at all times. So most likely, the knock on the door will come to a teacher.
All right, okay.
Or an administrator. Okay? And so what the protocol is they don't call 911. They should be given a phone number of someone in the administration, the principal, for example.
Okay.
And then the principal should have a protocol.
Okay.
So, for example, if this is a door and you knocked on the door, I say, who is it? You identify yourself. I say, I'm sorry, but I'm not allowed to talk to you. Can you go back to the principal's office in room 111, and that principal will take care of you.
All right.
So I have been instructed not to open the door or talk to you. Okay?
A principal is only a human, a human being.
The principal is supposed to talk to, every school district has access to funds. There are lawyers willing to sit down free of charge, no charge, no money, to advise the teachers what to say and what to do. It would be negligence if the school districts, and I'm sure most of them are preparing, it would be negligence if they didn't be doing that right now. Virtually every week I go to a session where I hear lawyers who know about this advise people on what to do.
In other words, under you guys' leadership, the LACCD is fully alert of what's going to happen.
We are developing a systems of protocols on what to do.
That's good.
We have been doing it. We've been working on it, and we are working on those guidelines right now. But everybody knows that if they're on an LACCD campus, they can call the local district, and we can advise them what to do from there. The Sheriff's Department has advised us that they are not to ask people's immigration status. They are not to initiate any arrests based solely on immigration. So that's very, very clear policy for us.
I know what you're talking about is under the guidance of the California state position of being a sanctuary state. And in LA, it is being a sanctuary city. But I heard the news, like say in Texas, they made it a law already, that almost a law, barely passed by little votes, that it is a crime not to cooperate with ICE. So my fear, I'm talking about instead of, in addition to the kids' fear, I have a fear, someday if the city or the state gives up on this sanctuary city or state position though, so we're back to page one.
Well, I don't think that will happen in California, Jack.
No?
I think we're leading the state. The bill that you're referring to, it's Senate Bill 54 by Senator De Leon to make it a sanctuary state has not passed yet. It's still going through the process. But I do think the main thing is that no matter what happens, everybody should have a plan. If you're at home, what do you do? There are lawyers that are available. You can call there are many nonprofit lawyer agencies that are willing to help. I would say if you're worried at home, organize into a neighborhood watch.
I see.
Organize through your city council what to do. So if you're worried about home, ask your city council to develop some guidelines. They have lawyers. That's at home. If you're at work, try to work with your employer to ask them what their policy is going to be. Okay, and if they don't know, then there are many nonprofit that can advise employers that they do not have to open the door. Okay, now if they're contacted by immigration, there are certain things they have to do to produce the form I-9 to see what the immigration status says and they could be raided. They could be raided. So make no mistake about it. I think the workplace is the least protected place. It's the place where you have the least protection and the greatest amount of reasonable fear. So if you're undocumented and you're working in a workplace, that would be the most likely place that you could be apprehended, because that's what the ICE has been doing right up and down the United States of California, United States of America. The third area is the school. I think the school is the most protected because the immigration knows that with thousands of students, if they go on campus and cause a disruption, there is a risk of injury to everyone. Because the students could go, could panic and trample. Like someone says, there's a fire.
Like crazy.
They could trample on people. They could. There could be all kinds of repercussions. That's why I think that I would like to. I would tell ICE that before they go on campus or before they go into a church, they better be very careful, because they will be liable for any type of injuries or accidental death that occurs, because people right now are very fearful and we don't know how they'll act.
All right, okay.
That's why we tell all of our teachers and our students, be sure that you know what the policy is.
Okay.
If you don't know what the policy is, ask for it. If there isn't a policy, there has to be one in place.
All right, okay. There has to be a way of dealing with it. Some numbers, please, sir. Under the LACCD, how many schools and students in altogether?
We have 9 colleges spread over 900 square miles. We have about 250,000 students.
250,000.
Yeah, it varies depending on the enrollment and the time of year, but we have up to between 200 and 250,000
I see.
students.
Among the between 200 to 250,000, how big of the percentage about the kids that are under the fear or kind of being impacted about the fear?
I think if you were to ask the students, I would say the majority of them are fearful or have questions.
I see.
Many people don't know this, but in Monterey Park alone, which has about 60,000 people, I was the council member and mayor there. I was told that there are up to 3,000 undocumented living in Monterey Park. The undocumented are everywhere. They're everywhere. And they could be as simple as a young person who came here with their parents. The parents applied for a green card. But by the time the parents got a green card, the children were already reached 21 and could not be included. And now they're stuck. Now they're stuck here. So there are many, many ways that they could have one child is legal, the other one is not legal. The father is legal, the mother's not legal. So when we talk about families, there's a great possibility that every family in California is affected. Someone born here told me that they've been born here, they have 6 generations from California, they have no problem. And then their child starts to date someone, and that child is no longer, does not have papers. As parents, you can't control who your children will fall in love with. Love does not require a green card to proceed. And so that's why we tell everybody to ask your school officials what to do. Ask your employer what to do. And if you're at home, ask your city council how they're protecting you from these raids.
Okay. One thing for sure, you deserve a basic right, not to let go your fault.
That's correct. And if you don't have the money for a lawyer, the school district,
will
the
provide
employer,
you.
and the city council should be using their resources, because you're paying money for tuition, you're paying money to your employer, you're paying money to your school for, you're paying money at your school, you're paying money to your city council.
All right, thank you very much. But the system still has a bigger heart, right, to help you. Let's take a very short moment now. When we come back, we'll continue finding from a bigger picture, a higher elevation or a broader perspective to see what's wrong with this country. I'm so worried, I'm so concerned. Please, I'm an American citizen, but I was once, not American citizen. And I worked my way towards it. I earned it, right? So everybody has a chance. Everybody should have a chance. Or should they have a chance? Well, it's a fair deal, right? So stay with us, please. Hello, my dear friends, my dear lovely audiences. Welcome back to the show. The East West Show cares about all the issues. Right now in this country, there is no issue that is bigger than the immigration. Call it immigration reforms, immigration consequences, or at least the people are talking about the 11, quote unquote, 11 million of undocumented. So till at the end of the day, though, are we talking about people? I mean, as human beings, should be divided, or as a country, are we getting to a point that we are dividing ourselves? So with those questions in mind, I have my friend, a backbone of the community, second president of the trustee board of LACCD, a former assembly member of California 49th District, Honorable Mike Yin, here to answer, please. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Jack.
Very good. My biggest question, sir, is that, oh, by the way, I've been here in this country for 33 years. I witnessed all the change, the growth, going this way, or this way, or this way, and I witnessed all. One thing I can be sure of, that the United States nowadays is no longer the ones that I came here for. So we are more divided. Am I right if I say, or am I safe if I say, we are more divided than before, than we were?
Yes and no. I think we are divided, but we're also very united.
Okay.
If you think about it, Latinos and Asians have been accused of being divided on many issues, but I think on the immigration issue, it has brought us closer together because the Asian community and the Latino community have immigrant roots. Every single one of us knows someone that is undocumented or trying to get their green card or is fearful of traveling. So it has brought us together in that sense. I think politically, California is united behind, I think, more of a Democratic Party principle than any other state. There are, of course, I have Republican friends, and I but their conflict is with Trump. Their conflict isn't with us. So I feel that there is, Trump has tried to divide people, but the people are united against him.
All right. Another way of unification.
If I go through a week of meeting 500 people, 499 of them do not agree with Trump. There may be one person, not even one. Maybe even if I go through a month, I may only find one person that believes in Trump, and they may not even be from this area. Recently, there were some demonstrations in the city of El Monte against the El Monte mayor, but those people are outsiders. They come from other areas to protest against our local folks. So I think there is that unity. I think fear brings us together in a very crazy sense. I remember when our house was broken into in Monterey Park, and I had never spoken to my neighbors before. We all lived quiet, we mind our own business. But the moment that happened, we called for a neighborhood watch, and 3 or 4 other people said, we were broken into also, but we didn't know. We were afraid to speak out. We thought we were the only ones. So that fear of crime brought us together, and even to this day, we have a neighborhood watch where we meet regularly to talk about many things, not just crime, but what brings us together. So used correctly, fear can lead to unity against that fear.
Okay. All right, I see your point, yeah.
We have that choice. That choice can be to turn inward, lock our door, never go out because of fear, or to reach out and say, if I'm fearful, you're fearful, how can we help each other?
All right, okay, good.
So I think the message, Jack, is that Donald Trump cannot be allowed to win if that fear consumes us and divides us. If that's true, he won. He will win the next election.
Uh-huh.
But the fear has to lead to action. The fear of an earthquake is real, is reasonable, but to do nothing is unreasonable.
Okay, like,
if I'm fearful of an earthquake, I develop an earthquake kit, I call my friends, I have an emergency phone, et cetera, et cetera.
To deal with it.
To deal with it. The same thing is true about this. We must turn our fear into anger, and anger into organizing. Register people to vote. In LA County, there are over 2.5 million people that are eligible to become U.S. citizens, but did not. I'd say to every one of them right now.
Why not?
You must register to vote, and you must vote, because your vote is your weapon against Trump.
Okay, all right, okay, I see. All right, I do agree with the principle that people under the same fear gets more united before, I mean, even after than before the fear, right? Now,
If
by
they
the
have
same, yes.
If they have the correct leadership.
Sure, with the leadership, with the great leadership.
Right.
And by the same philosophy, though, the Trump supporter on this side, who are the creators of fear zone, and by following the same philosophy, they might get more united.
I don't think so, Jack.
End of the day, we're talking about two divided groups, which is united.
I'll tell you why I think the Trump supporters will grow smaller and smaller. Number one, they're going to lose their health care.
Okay, which is at the
Trump
door.
Supporters generally tend to be older. The older folks are going to lose their health care because of pre-existing conditions, and older people cost more.
And the extra charge.
Okay, number one. Number two, he's failed. He's not building a wall anytime soon. It's going to cost billions of dollars. So everywhere he goes, he is not fulfilling his promise. He's going to allegedly create jobs for coal, but jobs in solar and renewable energy pay more money. So he's not going to be able to. So he's only been in office a little more than 100 days. As we move forward, you will see more and more failures by the Trump administration, more and more disappointed people.
All right.
The health bill did pass the Congress, but there's no way it's going to be in the same shade in the Senate. So I believe that that our fear must, I think we need to be patient, because the Trump supporters will have nothing to yell about in a few months. They will be losing their jobs. They're not going to get the jobs they were promised, right? And they're not going to get the health care that they were promised.
And lots of people, lots of firms trying to get a contract at the wall, though, and the wall is still nowhere, even the plan, even the blueprint.
What has happened is that Donald Trump says A, but then he does B.
All right, okay, no consistency.
Right? Originally, he looked like he was going to love Russia and hate China. Now he's working with China, and he's very careful. He doesn't say about how he loves Russia anymore, because his cabinet, they're all under investigation for the ties.
Okay,
so
which
Trump,
is okay to me.
Trump is a liar. Trump is a liar, or he's so stupid that he doesn't know what he said on Monday. He's saying something on Tuesday, or he's got a chemical imbalance.
I have a joke for you.
Yeah,
it's a Chinese joke, talking about the old days when people used the fan, the foldable fan.
Yeah,
they always paint a picture on the fan.
Yes.
There's a guy said to be famous in painting pictures, right? And then she says, okay, let me do you a fair lady, a beautiful lady on the fan. All right, in doing the lady, he kind of made a mistake. The lady's face was too dark. He says, okay, let's make it into a warrior, okay?
Yes.
Hero, like that. Okay, in doing the hero, kind of like he used too much of the black ink.
I see.
So there's no face at all. And he revised, let's say, okay, let's make it a piece of rock, also looking beautiful. In making the piece of rock, he spilled the ink. And you know what he says? Oh, come on, let's paint the whole thing black. Sometimes the whole thing black is also good. So it always reminding me of the correcting himself, per se, goes on and on and on, till from a white page to a black page. That's what I see.
We have worked too hard and worked too long and cried too many tears to go back. We will not go back to the Chinese Exclusion Act. We will not go back.
We paid too dear for that.
We will not go. We have too much education to know our history. We will not turn back. And this is just another challenge for us to overcome. And when we overcome, we will be better people. Trump will make us a better America, I think, because we're in fighting him.
With the pressure,
we will learn how to be united together on ourselves. And I think that is the hope, that we will not let Trump ruin our lives.
I see.
We will not let Trump ruin our lives. So our message is, let's turn fear into anger, and anger into organization. Into interaction with our neighbors, organizing ourselves to resist the attacks of Trump, to fight back politically. Fight back politically. And I think this can be a major benefit for the Asian community, the Chinese community, the Latino community. If ever, many times I will speak to immigrant communities. I don't care whether Spanish-speaking, Mandarin-speaking, Canton-speaking, they're falling asleep. But now is the time to wake up.
Okay, very good, very good. My dear audience, today is one of the very few chances that we get ourselves to discuss about the fear. The fear being that with the executive order, with the immigration push, with the ICE searching almost school by school, door by door, that creates a lot of fears to the kids, their parents, their teachers, schools, everything, and of course, school district. Well, speaking of the school district, I have my distinguished guest, Honorable Mike In, former Assemblyman of California, 49th District, and now current second president of LACCD, here to shed lights on this issue. Let's take a very strong moment out and find out how we want to fight back and technically where do we want to go. And we don't want to lose something like that. I'm worried, I'm really worried about American value. I'm really missing the day when the big lady at New York Harbor commands, "Give to me, you're poor, you're tempest-tossed, you're crowded, whatever, yearning to breathe free. Speak for breathe free. Give to me, all to me." I really miss those days. All right, so stay with us. Hello, my dear friends, my dear lovely audience. Welcome back to the show, especially when you happen to be somebody's parents who are at college. You better be, well, be more interested in the discussion about it. It is talking about our fear. The fear not typically with the kids in school, but also to the teachers, to school leaders, to our board members of LACCD, to spread all over the country. All right, even including those states who decided not to be a sanctuary state, to those cities who decided not to be a sanctuary city. So it is the kind of a well spread all over the country. Now we're talking about where the country is going. Now, reading a great newsletter from my distinguished guest, Mike Kim, it has a recent one talking about May Day. And he says, "Happy May Day." And the first question he asks is loyalty to what? Because President Donald Trump has made it a slogan that loyalty, he calls the day of May, 1st May, May Day, a loyalty day. So question is asked, loyalty to what? To the writer of this newsletter, sir, Honorable Mike Kim, you want to go explain to us, please?
Yes, many people don't know this, but many, many years ago, the United States president would always refer to May 1st as Loyalty Day, and that was supposedly to counteract the worldwide phenomena as May 1st as Workers' Day. So the U.S. wanted to say that you can, if they're celebrating May Day in other countries, we'll celebrate Loyalty Day. Every president has declared Loyalty Day for May 1st, but very few people know about that. This year, Donald Trump made it an issue to say that we're not a May Day for workers. This is a Loyalty Day to show that we're patriots. And I asked the question, I believe that I feel that we are loyal too. We can be patriotic to our country in many, many ways, including waving the flag. But the flag represents freedom and justice for all. And so to obtain that, I said loyalty for what purpose and loyalty to whom? Our loyalty to Donald Trump, yes, we are loyal to our president on one level, but we're also loyal to the cause of America. And the cause of America has always been to fight for our individual liberties, to fight for justice, to fight for equality, to fight for civil rights. And this is the loyalty I wanted to show, that we are just as American as anybody else.
Yeah. One nation under God, indivisible,
with liberty,
and justice for all. That's all we say every time when we put our hands on our chest.
That's
well,
correct.
We don't even know what the for all means.
We are part of the all.
Yeah, the all. We are the all.
When we grow up, it's very hard, particularly for Asians and minorities, to think we're all. We turn on the TV, we're not there. We turn the football,
or should we? Oh,
turn
sir,
on the football game,
I know
we're not there.
I know you're a master of words, right?
Yes.
Let's joke ourselves. If I'm joking, should we say justice for all apprentices documented? Can we say that? We can do that.
It's justice for
To be-
all.
For all
everyone.
for all apprentices documented. How about we do that?
Yeah, we can't.
We can do that, right?
No, we
one
can't,
country, one
Exactly.
nation under God.
all rich.
And
For
I
all
even
this.
hate to insult ourselves. I feel
Yes.
slammed on the face myself saying so.
Yes. So we have to be the ones to make sure when Donald Trump defines his all as being this small group of people,
All right.
that we say no. This is
all refers to
refugees,
all.
people coming here, like you
Okay.
said.
yeah.
Standing.
The
at
lady, the big lady says, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
All, send them to me.
That's right.
All of them.
That's right.
You're poor, you're
That's
wretched,
right.
tempest tossed,
That's right.
and crowded, and then yawning together
Yes.
to breathe free.
That's
something
correct.
like that.
That's right.
That's the all,
That's the all.
right?
Everybody should.
No,
go
that's
back.
unfair.
Everybody should go back and study their own family history of how they got here.
Yes. Yes.
And in doing that, they will be greatly inspired. Because our parents and grandparents and relatives and uncles and aunts faced far more challenge than Donald Trump.
You're right.
They faced
You're right.
far
You're right.
more
You're
than
right.
Donald
You're
Trump.
All right, you're right.
They did
yeah.
not have education. They did not have lawyers. They did not have politicians.
They were
did
not
not
born.
have education.
They were not born with a silver spoon in the
We
mouth.
have everything now to fight Donald Trump they never had. So the message that we have is one of hope. We did
Okay.
not have this TV station.
Yeah.
We did not have EDI Media.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
did
you're
not
right,
have
you're
Jack
right, yeah.
Zhao.
All right.
We
yeah,
did
you're
not
right,
have
you're
Mike
right,
Ng.
you're right. All right. All right.
That's the difference.
I'm not necessarily saying that I oppose Trump at all, though, but at least in the immigration area, I find myself in strong disagreement with what's going on, because I was once there,
That's correct.
right? Everybody was once there, and the whole nation. Look at the whole nation. If you go back before the Pan American Railways, right? Everybody was borrowed from China. They shipped them over here to do the labor, and then when the project is done, though, they kick back with an exclusive act.
When I was chairing the transportation for the assembly, a gentleman called me and said, "I would like to show you something in my office." What mystery is this? He showed me a piece of paper, very old, 20 pages, and had the name of all the names of the Chinese that had died blown up by dynamite in the railroad.
I see.
He said this is the only record to show they lived here. Because the government never cared about these workers.
Yeah,
they
you're
never
right,
took down their names.
right.
They never had any benefits. He says, but I wanted to show it to you, Mike, because these are your ancestors.
Yes, you're right, you're right.
They came here to work on the road. There were no identities.
Yeah, you're
so
right.
if we remember that, then we must stay true to our values to make sure that our children don't get treated the same way.
A little insert on this issue that they were all undocumented.
They were brought here. See, the word documented is very political. You're documented if you can help me. If you can't, you're undocumented.
Oh, yeah.
And people have to realize that the way that immigration laws have been used in this country is very political. It's not scientific.
Yeah, all right,
right?
okay, all right.
So they have to realize that the Chinese Exclusion Act was the only time in history where you could exclude an entire race of people.
A single race was picked up.
My grandfather lived here during that time. He couldn't go back. Was he undocumented? If he left, he tried to come back? The Japanese that were thrown in the concentration were American citizens. Were they documented? Well, if they were documented, why did they go to the concentration camps?
The grandfather of Vincent Yu of Temple City was from one of those.
Yes.
One of those from that time.
So we must raise the question that immigration has always been used as a political hammer to oppress people. It can be used to liberate people as well.
In the meantime, immigrants are always the backbone for the economy of this country.
Yes, I firmly
now
believe
you
that.
see a very strange, a very bizarre phenomenon. That is, when you have the immigrants as the backbone of the country, and you see the policies or the politics going against them. So,
yes,
the ends don't meet, the numbers do not meet.
It really makes sense to look at our immigration as directly related to our economic and our political well-being, and to spend all this money on people that came here and are now among us and not give them a way forward. I'd like to say that the immigration laws are like our driving laws. Very easy to break. But when you go over the speed limit, the solution isn't, well, we're going to take your license away from life. We allow you to pay your way back, or we allow you to go to a course and take a class on correct driving. We allow you to get back into the legal status of a driver.
Allow room for correction.
Allow room for correction. You can murder someone and be rehabilitated and come back and live amongst us and even enjoy a lot of the freedoms and benefits of American. But the moment you come here and you overstay, you're not allowed to do that because of this bill, we'll talk about it later, called 245I. 245I is the barrier to millions of people not getting their green cards. Because if you came here without a visa, you cannot get a green card. Even if you marry 10 times and you have 100,000 children and parents are Americans, you cannot get a green card unless you go home for 10 years.
I see.
That's the dirty little secret that bars this. It's just like saying that if you go over the speed limit by 1 mile an hour, you cannot get your license unless you go and live in New York for a year and come back. Nobody's going to go and live in New York for a year, and that's the same kind of penalty we have to bar people from getting back into legal
By
status.
that we need needs reform. That's what we call the immigration reform. By that we do not mean that we need a wall. And after all, the wall does not take care of the problem the inside already anyway.
The studies have shown that, first of all, you can't build a wall because the mountains and the water,
the water,
you can't
the
build
deserts
a wall,
and everything.
You can't build a wall over. Plus, as Hillary Clinton said, the wall will not keep out the internet.
Oh yeah.
So the wall makes no sense. It's too expensive, and you can take that same amount of money And in fact, you can make even more money if you told immigrants that were here undocumented that we're going to allow you to pay your way back into society, paying your back taxes.
Going to be 16 billion.
Pay your
so
back
far,
taxes.
According to the
Exactly.
to the lowest bid.
Pay your back taxes, et cetera, et cetera.
All right. And we're over time, my dear friends, but
Yes.
we're happy about that. We're happy we did that. We're not done because I have a longer list to discuss than what we could cover. With me today, my big friend, the backbone of the community, the fighter, and former Assemblyman of California, 49th District, current second president of LACCD, and I take him as the mother of the crying baby. Every time I have a crying baby, I call him here. Thank you for finding time to come here for Shed Light, and we appreciate. And I want to ask you one thing to keep up the good work. A lot of kids rely upon you.
Thank you, Jack.
Right,
you
good.
too.
Right, thank you.